Did not mean to do that. I have the wrong thing on screen. Pow. There you go, folks. Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Paul.
And he's Paul.
And
And we're both trying to organize a few technical issues here. I'm pretty sure I just showed some stream passwords, so we'll be editing that one out before this goes out for everybody else. And my monitor did
don't
the same
steal
thing
our
it did.
stream.
Yeah, my monitor did the same thing it did last week, where I had it on mute, and when it finally started playing our stream, it turned itself up full again. So that was fun. Paul,
Oh,
do you want to tell
interesting.
the kind folk at home what we are doing today?
Yes, and welcome to Hear Us Out, as we said, which is we've been all really good at keeping kind of like sane and each other kind of not like safe and everything, so much that which the filming industry has kind of started getting back to work. And we're going to be talking about some of the films that will be starting their production soon, and some of the other news about getting back to work, like we are every day.
As I adjust my chair, you can tell that this was down to the wire. There wasn't even a chair adjustment. Yeah, I think Paul covered it nicely there. There's a okay. Back to work. We've got to. We're going to have to deal with the idea that the entertainment industry getting back to work is a yay thing, but it's not the most important thing in the world. So anybody out there who thinks that we shouldn't be talking about this because yada yada yada, look, it's a YouTube entertainment show. That's what we're going to talk about. I think the bit where we can still be socially responsible, I guess, is to say that it's good that things are coming back slowly. They're not only coming back slowly, but they're coming back in phases and in locations. For instance,
Yeah,
it's not like the entire film industry across the world are all just going, yeah, everybody back to work. Um,
yeah. Like and it's one of those things where like it's only a select few things that were already kind of benchmarked to be kind of going forward, and they've kind of, I guess, highlighted as much as possible the safety kind of aspect of going back to work. And we talked about in a past video about maybe some of the actions and stuff like that that the film industry might take just to keep their crews and actors safe during filming and stuff. So
and back when we
um,
talked about that, you brought information about quarantine bubbles and all sorts of stuff. And that was before that phrasing was out there. It seemed new at the time. Now it's old hat. We're all used to the idea of people having their bubble, and sport have been doing it, and other organizations have been doing this to get their things back off the ground. I want to
yeah.
throw one really quick one out to start this off, though. If we're going to kind of
Mhm.
get into how you go back to work, New Zealand. New Zealand was the first country to, how should we put it, deal with coronavirus insofar as it went down to zero cases and had a period of zero new cases that was long enough to be considered, a successful handling of COVID-19. So
Hmm.
they make a lot of movies that are not the Lord of the Rings. We all know they make Lord of the Rings movies and associated Hobbit filmery. But what they're strangely going back to work on is Avatar 2.
Yeah,
Avatar 2,
yeah.
which,
An excellent series.
yeah, which is Avatar underwater, from what I'm hearing. It's
Oh, really?
yeah, it's not in the trees this time. It's Avatar under the seas. And it's going to be a standalone film in the series.
Hmm.
So this is his new craziness: is that you'll be able to watch this without having seen the previous one. And I don't know
I'm
if that's
so
going to apply
glad.
to the other five, because there's going to be another
I'm
four after this, right, or three.
Yeah, we did the scheduling thing out there in one of our past videos as well. That it was going to be pretty much like it's going to be one on, one off. So this year is going to be Avatar. The next year is going to be something else.
It's a
What
bit
was the other
crazy.
thing? There was something else that they were going to do. James Cameron and his
Oh,
craziness.
James
Can't remember.
Cameron, we're calling you crazy in a lovely way because your body of work is incredible. We love your stuff, but we're kind of on record going, yeah, first Avatar, yeah, another four of them, nah.
Like I I think it deals with because his last film, the Angel one,
oh yes,
what was it called? D an Angel or something like that.
yeah,
Um, That was a bit of a Battle Angel. That was it.
Battle Angel,
Um,
Alita, Battle Angel, to give it its full
yeah,
title.
that was a it was a beautiful beautiful looking film, but once again it lacked a little bit of substance.
Hmm.
So and that was really annoying because that was based on an anime that was really really good. But
Yeah, you were looking forward to that one. I remember that.
yeah, it was. But yeah, so I'm interested in kind of seeing the avatars. I know we aren't going to be talking too much about them, but I'm interested in seeing the avatar, especially since it's a standalone one now, and also Under the Sea. James Cameron is only good at Under the Sea.
It's well,
Put
our
up the
time problem.
crab from put up the crab from Little Mermaid.
Well,
Under
Under
the
the
Sea.
Sea. Yeah, we're gonna get a takedown from me badly singing Under the Sea to you there.
No, not at all.
When I say standalone, by the way, it is still related and there is still going to be shared cast, but it's
Mm,
standalone insofar as it's not a direct continuation. I think it's going to be the children of the Zoe Saldana and Sam Worthington characters. Yeah, thank you, because that's exactly the way I feel. So Avatar, moving on, that was more a point of fair play New Zealand, and
yeah.
still fair play because you're next door, but quite a ways away when you really look at a map. Australia, because they were the ones to put themselves on the entertainment map with COVID, because they had everybody's dad, Tom Hanks, catch COVID and be in Australia. So the word on the street is he's going to go back to filming there September, October, all things being equal and going well.
Hmm.
Do you know a film he was down there filming? Because I hadn't really paid attention, but now that I know, my mind is boggling.
It wasn't Greyhound, was it?
No, he's filming a Baz Luhrmann film. You know Baz from Moulin Rouge, etc.
Yeah.
Makes sense in Australia too. He's Australian, I believe. Well, Baz Luhrmann is going to be doing a film about Elvis, and Tom Hanks is going to play Colonel Tom Parker. I think is wasn't that was Elvis's manager, who's a bit famously
Yeah.
tough and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is going to
Oh,
be in an Elvis film.
oh, that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. But at least look, hey, Tom did great work being the COVID ambassador for Stay Calm. If you get it, maybe it'll turn out all right. Because if Mr. Hanks says it, then we're all feeling better.
Hmm.
So yeah,
He is.
Australia are close, but not they're not quite New Zealand. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. I was good. No, I was just going to be like, yeah, Tom Hanks is the dad of the world, or one of the many dads of the world.
Yeah,
Um, I know Matt Smith, or not Matt Smith. Matt Damon was here for quite a long time. He was in our local
yeah.
Dalkey area, which was for a good period of time. So much so that the Dalkey community became very protective of him. Um, they talks about coming back to finish the film that they were him and Ben Affleck were filming. Um, so yeah, there's that. I think that
Well,
was with Scott
okay.
Ripley. Was it with Ripley Scott that film?
I
If
think
I remember.
I think it's a Ridley Scott film. Yeah, to be honest with you, without show notes, and my mind is addled right now with Baz Luhrmann and Elvis. But yeah, no, I think it might have been. And big fans of both Affleck and Damon. I am, and I think you are too, Paul. Yep. So it was a real shame for us that they were quarantined in Docky, which is not our immediate locality. Because can you imagine how much we would have been standing outside doing our Hear Us Out YouTube channel if we had Matt Damon quarantined with us for 3 or 4 months? That would have been very, very handy.
I would have tried to get him just literally. No, I wouldn't have. I think I would have. We would have ended up doing the Irish thing, which is probably leave him alone. Probably maybe tweeted him one or two times, going, "Hey, like if you're not really doing anything, do you want to come on the show?" Like,
Probably would have done that. And we would have stood outside
yeah,
his house with like a microphone on a really long stick and been like, we'll socially distance, we'll put it in your window. So, yeah, probably would have done it
but
for the gram, outside the house with Matt Damon,
yeah,
thrown some stones at his window when he came to it. Look at us.
yeah, just pointing like this, like if Doc Ock was Matt Damon in the distance, just going, that's him right there.
That's him.
Um, But yeah, so on to kind of further kind of like I guess starting up news, which is England has decided, which is that it will open its doors to some of the films that were meant to start filming there, probably about the start of this year. Um, those films are items like Fantastic Beasts 3,
Okay.
which I'm looking forward to.
Well, actually,
Um,
let's talk about each one as they come, if that's okay, because there's a few in England on that list. And Fantastic
mhm.
Beasts, there isn't a confirmed start date according to anything I could find in my notes, but it should
No,
be
there
whenever they're
isn't.
ready. I think.
Yeah, so they've done. I think they've done kind of set building and the kind of the initial pre-production stuff of storyboards and that kind of stuff. But I think it's kind of some location shots that need to be, or there's location shots that kind of need to be done. That kind of looking around London and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what more stuff comes out of it because yeah, they haven't done any, I guess, their location finding yet in London.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but yeah,
it's got a few things now to garner some interest in it, good and bad. You've got the Johnny Depp stuff going through the tabloids at the moment again with him and Amber Heard. Uh, don't even want to go into that. That's also crazy. But then the Ezra Miller coming off the back of Will There Won't Be a Flash, and also his again not going to go into it, but video of him having an altercation with somebody that either was a joke or was serious. Who knows? I don't follow that closely because gossip's not that much fun.
mm-hmm.
But it has a few of its cast that will draw public attention. So when they start showing up for filming, this one may actually get a little bit more coverage just because of who might be there.
Yeah. So like, I'm interested in it. Um, yeah, there's some controversy around some of the casts, and then there's also which is some speculation about maybe Andy. Is it Andy Redmayne? That's the main
Uh,
character.
yeah,
News.
Redmayne, Jamie Redmayne.
Um,
Well, why doesn't Andy sound right? Redmayne, and his first
yeah.
name is lost.
Um, um, who plays Noose, which is he's going to be. There's speculation about him maybe taking a back seat in this one, more letting Dumbledore to take the front kind of main role. I myself would hate that. It would really kind of hurt the franchise for me. And like Noose is such a great kind of like emotional like character and having like Dumbledore take the lead. Like I like Jude Law. I know some other people, some other co-hosts that I have may not see Jude Law as much as favorite, um, but it would be annoying that Jude Law would take the lead just because Dumbledore is a very kind of strong, kind of like upfront, maybe typical protagonist,
Mm.
whereas Noose is a very kind of like more empathetic character, kind of thing. So,
And the great thing about that reasoned opinion that you just gave, all my brain heard was, yeah, Paul doesn't like Jude Law now either. This is great. This is all working out for me. Jude Law, again, I know you're an avid watcher. I don't hate you as a person. Just there's something we just don't gel movie wise. I actually think you're quite a good actor, and that annoys me. Don't know why. I hope I do get to meet him someday, just to go. I'm a really bad person. Shake his hand and be like, I'm a bit of a douche. Um,
um,
I haven't watched the Fantastic Beasts films because I had to mainline all of the Harry Potter films in a row last year, and as it
okay.
turns out, they're not my thing. And there's like 50 billion of them. So after I have enough of a break, maybe when this third one comes out, I'll watch the entire trilogy. Or yeah, this is the third one, right?
This is the third one.
Yeah.
Um, what's so just a quick thing. What's what's your favorite Harry Potter film? I know they weren't your thing, but what was your favorite one? What was the
Oh,
one you liked the
what was
most?
the really good one again? I think it was the fifth one. What was that called?
Joker.
Yeah. See, you asked me,
Um,
and you're a Harry Potter dude.
um, is
Gary
it
Oldman one.
the
What was the Gary
Grinch?
Oldman one?
The Gary Oldman one was the Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the third one.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That
Enjoyed it.
one's that's seen as one of the favorites. Then there's the Goblet of Fire and the Half Blood Prince and the Order of Phoenix.
Isn't it mad that
That's
I
not the
used to know the
order.
names of them too, but I'm so scarred I've pushed most of it out of my head. Like I had to get that mental space back. Don't watch all
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those films in the space of 5 days. It's not healthy, kids.
Also, please don't shout at me that I got the order wrong because I know them. But
He does, and
um,
I'm putting him on the spot.
so yeah, apart from that, we've also got the. I'm gonna jump into one of the other ones.
Yeah,
We've got the Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible 7, I believe.
yeah.
It hasn't been given which is a, what is it,
A
a sub,
subtitle, like a
yeah.
tag title.
I'm going to really look forward to it because I didn't get to see the number 6 properly.
Oh,
Um,
I think you'll like it.
because
You know
that
what?
family. Remember that family I talked to you about? The
Oh
one that
yes,
wouldn't
that's
stop
right. You were.
talking.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot that
Oh, I
was
was
at
in
the
the
Mission
cinema.
Impossible. Yeah,
I was present for it, but that was a Mission Impossible Fallout.
yeah.
I was present, but didn't get to watch that film.
I gotta say, I think the
So
Mission Impossibles are becoming a real, like it's a fun franchise. I look forward to the next entry. They've done a really good job since like Mission Impossible, let's say 3. I'm not a big fan of the first film, and I think the second film has obvious issues. But yeah, after that it was.
is it the angliness?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, no, I can't blame one man. Can't blame one man. I'm just really glad. I know I keep bringing this one up, but I'm really glad because it was Dougray Scott was the bad guy, and if he hadn't taken that role, he would have been Wolverine, and we wouldn't have had Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. There you go. So there is something to thank that film for. We got our Jack man. Schnick schnick.
Yeah, well done.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think they have. Again, I'm just checking the show notes. September is when they're planning on kicking in because even though they're open for filming, they're going to be doing their prep work. Obviously, they're back in production now, but principal cast filming mightn't be till September because obviously you've got to get your stars free. You've got to get your stars over to the UK, and then they've got to go through a couple of weeks quarantine, essentially, self
Yeah,
quarantine. So it's going to be as soon as they can, pretty much. They'll be end of August, start of September.
yeah, and then I can't because yeah, I can't wait to see what crazy stunts they end up
Well,
throwing Tom at.
yeah.
But
When you say what crazy, you can't wait to see what Tom Cruise forces them to let him do next.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, so which is it will be yeah, so they have to get all their stuff over to England and stuff and kind of hire and buy and organize any kind of crazy ass extra thing that they need to like a Hercules carrier or something like that, you know.
Yeah, I particularly did enjoy that set piece in the fifth or sixth film, whichever one it was, where he's hanging on outside. Just knowing that it's
Ghost
Tom Cruise is pretty cool. Was that Ghost Protocol?
Ghost I think that was Ghost Protocol. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
it's.
I didn't see Fallout.
I do love a bit of Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise. I didn't used to gel with him either. Another great actor I didn't gel with. Then he did Live Die Repeat and rehabilitated himself right in front of me. Or sorry, what's it
This
called?
is
Edge of Tomorrow.
It's Edge of
Yeah,
Tomorrow. Live Die Repeat was also the other name.
yeah.
Um, that is getting a sequel at some point. I don't know when. Don't know anything else about it. Just I know that it's meant to be getting a sequel.
It's a criminally underrated film, so I would really love it to get a sequel. And actually, do you mind if
Mm.
I do a patented Patrick segue from Mission Impossible, which has really become the modern Bond films, um, to segue into Bond, No Time to Die. I believe you have some news on it as well.
Yeah, so we have two pieces of news. They've also gotten permission to resume filming, which is a surprise because they've been delayed again, which is interesting. Which is, I'm just going to pull up my notes about the old
Well, when
James Bond
Well,
film.
you're pulling up double oh
Um,
007 notes. I will say that if it's delayed again, it is vying for the title with New Mutants as far as a film the universe doesn't want to ever come out. And they're both going to end up coming out around the exact same time. The universe may well explode. Ooh.
yeah, so uh, yeah, I'm interested in that because yeah, you're talking about New Mutants and James Bond, which is going to be interesting because yeah, as you said, it's got like a little bit of yeah, it's got a little bit of notoriety going on because like we back. like probably about halfway last year.
Yeah.
We also commented on its problems with which is its directorial problems. Yeah, most of it is that because of the space that they've gotten essentially between the launch and now, which is there's which is the director has essentially taken a little bit of time out to kind of maybe do a little do like he's do a little tinkering here and there,
Are you saying
and
he wants to tweak the film?
yeah.
It was supposed to be out in
Also,
cinemas already, and now he
I
wants to
think
tweak the film.
so. This is the thing. I think it's because that they've reset the kind of timer on it. Um, they're considering or he's considering tinkering, and I think the studio is also kind of pushing to tinker as well.
Wow.
So like there might be delays coming out and stuff like that. But the director has come out and said that he will not be like there will not be overly change. Like it won't be there will be no over changes of the film or anything like that. It's essentially just cleaning up shots that he may not have been happy with at the time, and
Oh, but yeah,
like
like I
you do
understand use
know,
all the time that you're given, and nothing's ever perfect. But there does come a point. It's like a haircut. You have to put the scissors down because if you keep going, eventually it ain't a haircut anymore. It's a shave.
yeah. So yeah,
Mm.
pretty much, yeah. But I think that there would be no principal cast probably in the reshoot parts,
Yeah, okay.
because Daniel Craig would probably not go for that in any kind of way, at all.
Yeah. Well,
So
Craigie's done with being Bond a little bit. I think.
I
That
would
is
very much
gas.
say,
Would you mind if I again tried to segue to the next one?
oh, go for it.
From one film that has had a tough start to another franchise that's having multiple restarts, and that's the Batman. Between having Justice League people, Batfleck. Now we're hearing that in this Batman, we know it's Robert Pattinson. But have you heard the news about Keaton, Michael Keaton showing up in the Bat universe again? Also,
Is this the Batman Beyond?
yeah, it's
Pos-
essentially where it's going to go.
Yeah,
So we've got Batman all over the place, and more than one Joker. If you ask Jared Leto, if you ask the rest of us, we've only got one Joker at the moment, and that's Joaquin Phoenix. Ooh, Leto burn. But yeah, so the Batman was filming with Pattinson, or going to be
yeah.
filming with Pattinson in Scotland, and again they'll be able to go back to work now. He got himself in a little bit of hot water. I never got to ask. I'm going to ask you on a live stream. Why not? Did you hear Pattinson come out and said, "Ah, yeah, my Corona workout stuff is no different than yours. I'm doing regular exercise, yada yada yada. But I don't think you need to do this whole kind of Marvel thing of bulking up and getting completely shredded." Which that's an opinion. The only other thing
Hmm.
I would say to counter that opinion is you get paid a lot of money to do a job that lots of people would, give their right arm for that opportunity. Maybe if the studio is saying we'll give you the personal trainer and all the nutritionists you need, give them the 8 weeks, 18 weeks, whatever it might be.
Yeah, like if it's a decisional thing in the kind of way that he doesn't want the character to seem like it's you. So like the only person I don't agree with, like I am so flabbergasted by that statement.
Sorry, I caught
That's
you on the
I
hop. I'm doing
just
that to Paul all night.
I I didn't know that was a thing. I'm kind of like well, you're talking about characters like Thor and Captain America. Like
Now I
one's
am
a
paraphrasing, so
god.
don't hang the poor guy. But
No,
yeah,
no. Oh, I'll hang him all I want. Um,
good stuff.
uh, like if for my opinion on that, if he was to say more like, I want the character to seem a little bit more realistic and kind of like be kind of a top notch shape, but like more kind of maybe leaner instead of bulkier kind of character, I would definitely get his point.
Hmm.
That you want it's the thing is that the like Bruce Wayne or the Batman would be working out considerably. He's also a very wealthy person, so he has all the equipment and everything to work out and stuff. So he
And
would
rich
be at
people eat
peak.
good food.
he would be at peak physical condition. Like I don't agree that maybe he won't be the size of like Steve Rogers or Thor, but like the way that you kind of play that off is Steve Rogers is a super soldier and Thor is a god. So I'm trying to more act like he's like you like if they were to show like when they showed off Hawkeye in which was Age of Ultron.
Mm.
Like he's nicely shredded, but more realistic, and that makes sense because he is just a human who
Yeah,
shoots arrows.
he's more acrobatic, athletic, kind of shredded. Yeah, and look
Yeah.
again, I'm not here to because this isn't about body shaming or any of the rest. I'm with you. If he said it from a point of I've made a creative decision, then I respect your creative decision. If he said it as a slight or more of a I couldn't be arsed, the suit'll do it anyway, then I say boo, boo earns to you. I think for the sake of not knowing the guy very well and not even having the quote to pull, which is very, very lazy of me, it popped into my head. I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it's a creative choice. It's not like he's going to show up with a beer gut Batman. I don't think. Although that'd be a really interesting way to play it.
Mm,
It's like
that would be.
completely COVID body Batman, just half a donut in hand at all times.
This, the Joker makeup. It's just the bottom half of that, but it's just donut sugar. And he's like, "Oh, look, they're doing the kind of like Batman Joker kind of thing going on." And it's like, "No, no, he's just eating donuts."
There you go.
Um,
Well, I do love. I got this at the weekend from somebody else, so I don't know how true it is. But apparently, there's a German phrase now for the COVID body, or your bit of extra COVID weight, and it's called COVID Speck. But Speck for the pork fat. So in relation
mhm.
to the food, but in English, I was like that works just as well because it's COVID spec. Like I'm now in my COVID specification. That's when
Mhm.
you. It's like here's battle spec, here's COVID spec, here's like night raid GI Joe, here's COVID on the couch GI Joe.
Yeah. I've yeah, that's an interesting one. I have not heard that in any kind of way.
It
So
tickled me. It tickled me. So do you mind if I again? I'm going to try and be cool with my segues because I want to go like 5 for 5 on segues.
it, it's also funny because you're saying segues, but you're not letting me say anything
Oh
to
yeah.
segue in for you.
Well, yeah. I
So
was
what's
more.
the next? What's the next segue, man?
Well, yeah. You see that's true. But I was going to try and be all smooth and go from the Batman to the. Actually, no, it wasn't going to work anyway. Let's just do the Little Mermaid instead. I've just decided. So we'll move the one I was going to talk to because I've just realized Segway just went down in flames. So let's do Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid Disney live action. They haven't done a Disney live action remake of an animated thing lately, have they? This will be brand new.
uh, oh no, I don't think they've ever
Mm.
done that. Like
Or one a year for the last 6 years, pretty much. But yeah,
so
Little
much
Mermaid's
so.
going to go back into production. So yay, Little Mermaid. Still haven't seen the animated one.
Well, no, I saw the animated one. That's pretty good. Uh, watched Narnia recently. I know this is an interesting one. I watched Narnia. Aslan, like Narnia came out in like probably the early 2000s. I'd say it's probably around the 2010
Okay.
era,
Yeah.
probably a little bit earlier. Um, but Aslan, the lion, looks more damn real than the lions from The Lion King. And that's saying something for a film that was released for 2020 and a film that was released 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's it.
So
There's
I'm
a
just,
difference.
just, just, that's just a little part that I'm saying.
Well, I don't know who did the VFX for because I don't think Narnia is a Disney property. So I don't
It
know.
is.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder was it the same team? And you know what? Sometimes making things or having too much power to make things look too real makes them more noticeable and stand out. Sometimes you want a little bit of soft and fluffy, especially in your big lions that live on the other side of wardrobes. I'm not really a dude.
Look, all I'm saying is the animals in Narnia seem a lot more real than the Lion King ones. And when you like, I'm hoping for the Little Mermaid. I'm hoping that they do a little bit kind of I hope they do a little change in kind of the storyline to make it a little bit more interesting. And I'm not meaning Dumbo levels of change, like because Colin Farrell and his family essentially being the main topic of that film is weird, since the film is called Dumbo and is about an elephant that can fly. Um, so yeah, I hope that they do a little bit of change to the plot lines and stuff like that. So
All I know is I hope they keep the one thing I know from the original movie, and that is the little lobster crab dude singing the song Under the Sea. Because
yeah,
that's a catchy little earworm right there. I like that thing.
yeah, it is very much.
So
Um,
what's next, Paul?
well, what were you going to segue into?
No, see,
What
I've
was the,
stopped
what
now.
was
Now
the,
you've made me
I've ruined
bashful
it,
of
haven't
segues. Yeah. Now let's see if you can do a smooth transition, mother.
So, talking about crustaceans, we'll talk about some Jurassic things now, which is Jurassic World Dominion. No, it wasn't. That was not a good
I'm going to give
segue.
you
I just,
Cretaceous to Jurassic in your periods,
I,
no problem.
I just decided to, just crash that into everybody's life. Jurassic World Dominion has started filming, or was allowed to start film in England, along with the rest of the films. The other thing is that we can confirm that they've already started, though, and they've started with some primary cast as well, and that's going to look interesting. They're really kind of ramping up some of the old characters back into the fray, because you've got Sam Neill coming back as Dr. Grant. Um,
Cool.
Jeff Goldblum is coming back again as well. You've also got then Chris Pratt and
Bryce Dallas Howard.
yeah, coming back as two main characters. So it seems like this could be the essentially they've gone through all of the Jurassic Park films and see who they've killed off and who they haven't, and then seen who like still kind of wants to do it, and then they've kind of gotten them back on board for this one. So
So
that's interesting.
it's one of those hands up if you haven't had a go yet, or if your turn was a while ago. It's like let's get the gang back together while we're still here. Is Lorna Dern going to show up, and or Laura Dern going to show up in it? That'll
Oh, I
be
don't
everybody
know.
then. Um,
I think so. Like I think most of the original cast are coming
that's
back.
fantastic. Well, I do love a
Um,
bit of Goldblum in my Jurassic Parks.
hmm.
He's a key player for me in the charm of the movies because he's just wacky enough himself that it makes watching the dinosaur movie that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, like he was in that. He was in the other one. What was the other one called? Jurassic World. What was the last one called?
Yeah, it was Jurassic World 2, wasn't it?
I'm
Yeah,
sure there was something. I'm sure there was some kind of subtitle to it.
I'm trying
But
to
he was
remember
in
it
that
right
one
now too.
for.
Yeah, he
He
was
was
in
in
the
that for.
courtroom doing the reenacting of his original lines, going, yes, life finds a way, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But that's always fun to see him do that. So I'm hoping in this one he might do a little bit more, and it's not going to be another kind of like
Cameo,
yeah, like
extended cameo.
government hearing, and I'm also hoping that like Dr. Grant's Sam Neill's character isn't also doing something like hoping that the original cast aren't like sitting in the government building just going, you're just gonna have to give them the vote,
That's it.
like.
That's it. And well, the one thing I will say, and this is weird because when we do a live stream, we don't get to edit these afterwards. That's why they're meandering and more messy, but more fun in some ways. But we don't get to
Mhm.
cut in things because right now I'd be mentioning, well, as long as Sam Neill doesn't fall asleep and be woken up by a raptor, I would then be able to cut in a clip which everybody who hasn't seen it is like, what? And everybody who has and remembers that part of the movie is like, oh yeah, this is a bit where Sam Neill wakes up and basically a dinosaur is looking at him going, "Hi, Dave." It's weird.
Is that number three that
That's number
happens
three.
in?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
because of
that was
that,
an interesting.
it's the best one. I know it's not, but for me, it's the best one. Biggest
Uh,
laugh every time. I love it.
Because it also has the voice of. Does it have the voice of
It's it's whoever's
the?
speaking. I think is there someone speaking to him or saying something, and he wakes up.
I thought it was. Is it? Yeah, I don't know actually. Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, anyway,
Um,
yeah. After you watch this, go Google Sam
as
Neill
fast
talking
as
dinosaur.
possible. Um, So yeah, that's the kind of that's some of the films that are kind of going into production again. We've also got some news about which is what was this again? Halloween Kills. That's gotten its for that's getting a kind of. I'm gonna go for horror quickly.
Oh,
Halloween Kills is was just getting a sort is starting up again, I believe, or is doing its trailer. That's going to be interesting because it's essentially trying to I don't know, set straight the franchise. Um, how
which
you
has
set
been tried
Halloween
before.
straight, yeah. Which is going to be very interesting to see how they decide to kind of set the record straight. Um, and on top of that, which is the Ryan Gosling, another horror film, Ryan Gosling's The Wolfman, has their director announced, which is Lee Whalen. I think he's an Australian. He's the Australian director who did like The Saw and Insidious.
Ah, okay,
Um,
right.
I cannot pronounce
So
his name in any kind of way,
right,
but I think it's
he's got horror pedigree then.
Whalen.
So
Yeah, yeah,
excuse me,
very much
apologies.
so. So I'm looking forward to towards that kind of stuff.
Well, since Paul's
Uh,
giving you the horror roundup, I'll give you the TV roundup, which is very short. And that's because the Czech Republic has also, similar to the UK, said we might start doing some filming. And most notably, the people who were filming there was My Two Captains, also known as Winter Soldier and Falcon. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I
Falcon.
knew it sounded wrong when
Yeah,
I said the wrong one first. Falcon and
I
Winter
like it.
Soldier. It's My
I
Two
like
Captains.
it came out of your mouth, and you immediately knew it was wrong. It
Yeah.
was just that little clip. If someone can clip that, that would be great.
Yeah.
Just you just going like this, going and Falcon.
Being honest, folks, we'd already, and the reason I'm talking over Paul so much in this particular episode, we'd already decided we were live streaming today. If I could have said, look, will we move this to another day when I'm not both exhausted and hyper, this will go better. But no, we're live. You're here. We're here. Enjoy it. And that's why you get the Winter Soldier and Falcon, because that's what My Two Captains is now called. But yeah, so they're getting to go back and
You've
finish off
chosen a
in the Czech Republic.
you've
Sorry.
you've chosen a side,
I
haven't you?
have, I
You're
have, I
more Winter Soldier.
That's well. Look, being honest, actually, let's do that for the anybody watching at home. A 60-second pick your side on the two captains. Who are you with? Who you got? Because I'm definitely a Bucky Winter Soldier
See,
cap.
I'm going to say Falcon. I'm going to go with Falcon because not only is he Captain America's choice,
Mm.
he is also Bucky's choice because at the end of Endgame, he tells him to go on ahead.
Yeah, true,
So
true. But
you know,
it's because him and it's because Bucky and Cap had a chat beforehand, and we're like, look, we know you're going to be the best Captain America when you finally get the shield, Bucky. And Bucky's like, yeah, I know, like, bionic arm and everything here. So for now, look, for a little while, will we give it to the kid with the wingsuit? How about the guy who is completely special powered by anybody who's never bought a hang glider or had a parasailer? They just were like, there you go, like, give him a while. And, when he finally gets his own TV show, you'll be there too to pick up the pieces.
I'm,
I'm going so hard and I can see I'm getting to you. I'm
I'm
cracking
just
the
gonna.
veneer.
You don't know. It's fine. Because I'm just gonna turn around and just go. It's gonna be a fucking PR nightmare when they find out that he was a communist hitman who killed Tony Stark's parents
True.
and probably a fuck ton of other people.
Yeah.
And then after being a communist hitman, he was then a fascist hitman with Hydra and nearly killed. What was that number that Project Oversight had? What was it? Just for the initial one, what was it? 103,000 people.
Exactly. So what you're saying is perfect redemption arc. Yay! it's
Not
not.
really.
Oh,
Some people don't get it.
why do we fall, Bruce? It's so we can get back up. Yeah, no, I think
Don't cross the streams, man.
Beast. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, don't never DC reference your Marvel. All that joking aside, I'm looking forward to My Two Captains. I wish they hadn't called it Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think it's great that they're going back to finish off filming. So it does mean we'll get that probably before the end of the year is planned, which will be nice. It'll be nice for Disney Plus. It'll also be nice to be able to get the Marvel Universe not moving again, but being able to resume it post their Black Widow movie, which will be the big relaunch of the MCU as the juggernaut it was. It just took a small break.
I'm
Yeah.
really glad it did.
Me too.
Really glad that it did.
We
I'm
did
sorry
a
for
whole
jumping in there
episode.
again.
No, we did a whole episode recommending that it should.
Yeah, and then Covers kind of forced it to, which I think I'm ready. I'm ready to go back into the superhero kind of like genre again with a lot of stuff because there's a few more TV things coming out.
Who you got?
I was thinking you were going to go ahead with the TV stuff.
Oh no, that's it. Oh, that's it. That's all
Are
I
you
got.
just
That's
going-
why I was saying I'm just going to do one. I'm going to call one out
because
there's loads and loads and loads of stuff thanks to the UK opening back up.
you got Umbrella Academy 2, their teaser trailer came out, which we both really like. I know it's not the biggest fan, or there's not the biggest fans out there, but man, you got to give it a chance. And I am one of those people who was just like, if I have to give a series a chance, it's probably not very good, but
No,
for this one, it is.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I give it thumbs up. I definitely think it's worth your time. That and The Boys 2 will be out. The reason I didn't include them is because I don't think they have to go back to principal photography to finish. I think they're covering out their closing through just pickups that are studio based. I don't know if any of the big ones like Mandalorian, which they're still trying to get out, I don't know what their status is, and I couldn't find anything on their status. But they're secretive when filming, as it is.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find anything myself about the Mandalorian, because I know that the second season was meant to come out at the second half of this year, but there's no talk about anything about it. So
yeah, and that's, who knows if that's just because they have it all planned out and they're going to do it all quickly, or if they're doing stuff behind closed doors that we don't know about. It's the Mandalorian. Star Wars, always the most secretive of the secret stuff.
Well, Disney tends to try to be as quick as much as possible, especially with the franchises that are probably like already have enough popularity to be able to go ahead without kind of like, because like Marvel doesn't need any kind of like boosts, but it does anyway, especially since it had that large gap. But the Mandalorian has been on everybody's mind because it should be coming into flow soon. So
yeah, because we all want more Baby Yoda and more Mandalorian. But let's face it, Baby Yoda. Talk about, if you put Baby Yoda up against any of the presidential hopefuls, I think you would find President Baby Yoda would probably get elected. I have not met anybody who doesn't like Baby Yoda yet.
Don't, if anyone listens back on this, don't vote for Keanu. Like Kanye West as a joke. Just don't do it, because I'll point back 4 years ago, because that was a joke, and now you've been stuck with the joke for the last 4 years. Just saying.
Well, I will take a neutral political stance and agree, but also say that when it comes to Kanye, I don't think that poor chap needs more attention. Possibly he needs less attention from people who are just close to him, maybe he could do with a smaller circle of friends rather than an entire world looking at him, because I genuinely don't know how well he's plugged in or wired, that poor chap.
But yeah, so you were talking about The Boys. Yeah, The Boys had its second trailer and also an exclusive look released, which was very interesting. Can't wait to see it go further, which was a very good series.
Yeah, one of the big surprises of last year. Like, it really was. You were hopeful. I was curious, but it turned out quite well, I thought.
Yeah, like that was the thing. I was more kind of skeptical because as the avid like comic book reader of The Boys, so like it paid off well. Didn't go in the directions I thought it would, but it's fine. Yeah. It's kept a lot of its charm.
Nicely done, I'd say. And like many things on Amazon Prime, I'm becoming a real Amazon Prime advocate. But I will echo the sentiments that Paul said the first time you got Amazon Prime, and I was like, so what do you think? Is it worth me jumping in? You were like, absolutely. But be prepared because the navigation sucks. It's just terrible. And it hasn't got any better. You would think
Yeah.
that somebody would have updated it at some stage.
No, it is terrible.
Oh,
Like
it's
it's
dog shit.
unless you know, I think because just because we do want to do maybe a show maybe possibly on this, but the way that I kind of discern the two from Netflix is Netflix. I'm browsing through a lot of stuff and I don't know what I want to watch. Like, but when I go to Amazon, I tend to know what I'm watching and I need to search it. I very rarely go to them going, I'm interested in a film or a TV series. Let's go to Amazon Prime and see if they have it. Like, or see if they have something that might pique my interest. It's more I go to Amazon and go, I wonder if they have this particular movie or TV
Yeah,
show, you
yeah.
know? So,
Still, I'm a big fan, and you know what? Boys season 2 will work well in our household as well because I'm not the only one here who liked it. Seems to be universally liked, which is good. Now, do you mind if again we move away a little bit to another part of the entertainment industry? See, I didn't even say segue. Just more. We'll throw it in before we wrap up. There's no easy way to have award shows during a pandemic. There's no easy way to have expos during a pandemic. So have your Comic Cons and the like. So everything
yeah.
like that's been affected because they are all really about getting people together. Okay, you're broadcasting them on TV, but what you're doing is broadcasting a large gathering of people, which is a bit of a no-no. So just to kind of say the whole back to work aspect, or go back to what we're trying to cover, Cannes and the Oscars and the like are obviously off. They're just waiting until next year. Cannes is talking some sort of waffle about films that will be considered Cannes 2020, something later in the year. Who knows? But they're pushing themselves out. The ones that I found most interesting is the Venice Film Festival. Venice being one of those classic kind of, it's the oldest, I believe, if from memory, film festival. But Italy was hit very, very hard by the coronavirus. Very, very hard.
Yeah.
And they're still going to go ahead. It's going to be smaller and they're going to do, social distancing, etc. It's not until September, so who knows? But it's
Okay.
the one I was most like, really? You're confident saying these are definitely going ahead? Um, I don't know. What do you think about the morality of award shows are pretty self-serving at the best of times, so it's kind
hmm
of tough now for people to get together. Now I know it'll be a small gathering and it'll be independent film more than the Hollywood blockbusters, but
I think I think that's very much a kind of. I guess it is a getting back to work part as is kind of within the theme, but I think it's more kind of a like let's get our tourists or get you know let's get some parts of our industry back up and running in the sense that like although excuse me not the biggest films or the most exclusive films will be shown at the festival. A lot of the kind of like art house ones and indie ones and stuff like that that will pull some of the directors and producers and studios there just to see maybe some of the next like directors or writers and stuff like that are upcoming. So I can definitely see why they might be doing it. Also, Italy is one of those countries, very much like Ireland, who very much understands that there is going to be a point in time in which this has to be lived with,
yeah,
rather than constantly controlled and kind of warned about and stuff. Um, I think September is a little bit too soon for that, but
I guess we'll find out in due course on that one. And in with all respect to the organizers, they don't have to cancel anything. They didn't have to jump out in May and say we're canceling our event in September because they can do a wait and see, which is it's fine. Um, I just the level of confidence is surprisingly high. Now I'm sure that the people involved will be responsible if the world changes around them. But it stood out on all the ones because there's two that I'm most interested in. There's usually but then Toronto International Film Festival is one of my pet favorites because it seems like the most fun and usually has the most surprising things happening. and has a real good, vibe. I hate using that word because it's so. Yeah, this is a good vibe, man.
Mhm.
But they're going to do, as you would expect, they're going to go ahead and try and do things like digital digital premieres and drive-ins and Zoom premieres with Zoom red carpets and all that kind of virtual stuff. They're also still
Mhm.
going to do some actual premieres that will be all socially distanced, organized and
Yeah.
done safely, which is all cool if it's very very well planned. But I think it'll be the fun one to watch of all the kind of how do you do it in this world ones. If there was anybody that was probably going to get it right, it'd be the guys at TIFF or Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah, I will 100% agree with you there. I think Tiff would definitely be able to pull this off because I know that they're also the comedy. I know the Vancouver comedy is the
Oh,
Vancouver. It's
it's
Vancouver or the
Montreal does the
Montreal.
Just for Laughs festival.
They're
Yeah,
yeah, they're going or they're putting in plans in place and stuff like that for us as well. And when I heard that, I was very much just like, yeah, the Canadians are going to be if there's any group of people that are going to be able to do this, like the Canadians are going to be able to plan this out correctly, and
let's
it'll be
face
good.
it, the whole world trusts the Canadians, and for good reason. Thank you, Canada. You're usually pretty trustworthy and seem to do the right thing more often than not. Okay, I know there's some checker past for some people there too, but hey,
Mm.
I'm kind of glad that there's going to be alternative approaches to film festivals and the like. The one that I'm most sad about, or the things I'm most sad about, are the fan events such as. Let's face it, film festivals, can they work without stars showing up? Not really. They can work for fans still, but like the Oscars is more about the people who show up celebrating themselves, each other, in the films they've made, which is great,
Hmm.
but that's the spectacle. Whereas something like
Yeah,
a Comic Con or a D23 or one of those things, that's real fan centric stuff. So any of those events that are being cancelled or being pushed purely online, I kind of feel sadder for the people who would have been going because it might be their one and only chance to get to a San Diego Comic Con or something like that.
yeah, no, I do agree. Like, I know here in Ireland's Dublin Comic Con has essentially just said we're moving our. They cancelled their winter or the autumn. Is it autumn or
They
winter
did
festival?
they do spring and autumn, right? I think they do
It's
starting
spring and summer, isn't it? Because
possibly.
It's July and in March or something.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
it's
They
definitely.
they canceled their first one to bring it into the summer months, and then from there they were like, okay, well we have to cancel the summer one as well. We're just going to do it, so we're moving it. So essentially they've moved it they moved it a year, but they said that all the tickets, all the guests pretty much have been like a lot of the guests have been reorganized to come, and which gives all the kind of guests, like all the panels and stuff like that, are all being moved over to us. So,
Yeah,
um,
I
like
fair play to them. It's a responsible choice.
yeah, exactly. And I think Comic Con is doing the same thing, and San Diego Comic Con is doing the same because they do a lotto system for their tickets. And let me tell you, I have tried probably in the last 5 years every year to try and get tickets for it and have not in any way gotten one of the lottos. So, you
Yeah,
know,
so you can hit us up if you want to send us a ticket. Paul will get it. If you want to send us two tickets, Paul will take somebody he likes because I know he still won't let me go. But yeah, no, I would love to go to particularly San Diego Comic Con. There are a few cities around the world that hold con events like that I think would be really interesting to experience. Obviously, the SDCC is the big one for Hall H announcements and the like for Marvel too. So um,
Mhm.
yeah, and on that kind of closing out the industry side of it. So people are going back to work shooting. People are going back to work promoting. It's a very very busy time for people trying to work out their new marketing strategies. Cinemas are going to be reopening. Awards and expos are finding their own ways around it. But then there's the green lighting of films, which Paul, you had a little bit of. We didn't talk the Tron info that you gave me just before we hit live.
Yeah, and so Tron, the sequel, so Tron 3 has been scheduled, and it's going to be more than likely a sequel. I don't understand. I said this to Patrick. I don't understand that the news currently is that it's going to be a sequel, um, which I don't think really surprises a lot of us.
No.
Um, but the news should be that there's a Tron 3 film coming out,
We
or going to start filming.
be in the spirit of full disclosure, we both had fun trying to say Tron 3
Yeah,
earlier. So try saying that fast at home. Tron 3 with an Irish
the
accent.
third Tron.
Yeah, Tron the third. Well, after Legacy, it'll be called like Supremacy or something if it's given to the bad naming department. Hopefully not. Um,
We need to email that department and just go, listen, lads, we'll help you out there if you want. Like, whoever said the Suicide Squad
yeah,
as the next Suicide Squad should be fired. And let me tell you, the Fast and the Furious franchise, they're the one group of naming guys that I do not want to take, because they're either geniuses in the annoyance kind of
mm.
departments, or they are idiots.
They
So
are either masterful geniuses or completely diabolically evil people. I can picture it now, myself and Paul kicking in the doors of a room full of people going, right, this is the naming department for movies. All right, everybody who had anything to do with naming a Fast and the Furious movie to that side of the room, please. Just get over there. We'll deal with you in a minute. Also, who here came up with Jaws the Revenge? You can join the Fast and the Furious people. And yeah, Suicide Squad, anything that was just named and then had the re-added to it, or had the removed as a different name, you're also going down that into the room. That everybody else can leave, because there have been some bad naming, but I think they're the people that we need to talk to with the doors closed.
yeah, I do agree there.
Mm.
So yeah, so it's on Tron, the third Tron film,
Thrawn 3.
which is yeah,
Ugh.
which is being announced, which I'm really excited for.
Mm.
Olivia, not Olivia Munn.
Olivia Wilde.
It's Olivia Wilde, and I do not know that guy's name.
I do, and I wish you hadn't
Brian
asked me
Black.
live on air because I had that in my head, but now I know it's not going to come out because I was
If
about to shout
it's
Sam Worthington, but it's not. Anyway,
if you
Daft Punk
get,
might come back. Look at me
that's
trying to get
true.
away from not remembering the name.
And then the second story that I also was talking about, your friend again, Jude Law, is in talks about becoming the new Captain Hook of the new Peter Pan movie. So I bet you're excited about that, there, Patrick.
Well, yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm probably not going to be watching the movie anyway. So you know what? Fill your boots there, Hooky McJaw, Jude Law face. You know what? I don't dislike the guy. I don't dislike him as a guy. I don't know what it is. It is an irrational, weird feeling. So,
Tweet us. Tweet us at Heroes Out. It's Heroes Out Tube. Um, and we'll, if you want to go into a deeper dive into Patrick's dislike of
oh,
Jude Law,
referee!
and
I'm calling a halt.
we'll do a
No,
20-minute segue of
no, because this is one of those things where I know I'm being irrational, and it's like everybody has got this. How about this? Comment down below if you have an actor or actress or entertainment personality, musician, sports player, whatever, who you respect their talent, you don't think they're bad, but just weirdly you don't gel with them, and you're like, oh, it's like Helena Bonham Carter. She's great, but when I see her name in a movie, I'm like, yeah, but Helena Bonham Carter's in it. I think is there anything else? Like I go to the next thing in Netflix, and that's really weird because she's fine. She's good. I just I don't know. There's something wrong. You've got
and
somebody like this. I'm sure you have.
and tweet us if you want us to deep dive into the Jude Law thing with Patrick.
Yeah. Now we're gonna get a load of people tweeting like Helena Bonham Carter going, there's a guy with like 5 followers on the internet who doesn't gel with you, and his co-host won't put his own neck on the line saying who he deeply hates.
I think we did
No,
we?
we probably did this
We
actually. We
did.
did.
We did a series. There's the video that we did, because this is why I'm also diving more into the Jude Law thing.
I can't
There's
remember who
definitely
you
some
said.
people. I can't remember either. I definitely haven't watched a film with them in it for a while. That's why I've forgotten. But I'm gonna go back and watch that video now and just be like, oh, that guy or that person.
Hmm.
Now I remember. Um, yeah.
Well, you're trying to bury me just as we're ending the stream. So I'm going to throw it over to you to pick our final topic and walk us out. I have not been paying attention to the comments, etc. Anybody who has said stuff, we appreciate it very much. Sorry if we didn't answer your questions. Add more stuff down below. Tom Cruise, I dislike his face. Brew, thank you very much. Um, yeah.
Oh, it's the guy who plays Captain Flag from Suicide Squad.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
also in Altered Carbon and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I don't like him. I think he's a fine actor. I think he's grand. Captain Flag is a little bit much,
Yeah,
but
what the hell's that actor's name?
him and
Again, I'm going blank.
Kinnaman,
Yeah,
something
Joel Kinnaman.
Kinnaman.
Thank you, Joel Kinnaman.
Um, yeah, I don't like him. Don't just have a automatic dislike towards him. Even though in Alton Carbon he's kind of fine, but yeah,
He,
Rick Flag.
you know what? Just so that if we ever do meet him, he's not going to be like, "You said mean things, but you were all right, Patrick." I'm going to go. He kind of looks like an elongated John Cena as well. And if you if you can't picture that, just Google both their pictures and kind of stretch John Cena a little bit. It's like, oh, it's Joel Kinnaman.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. That's a
separated
good one.
by what's that tool for stretching people again? The
The
medieval
Rack.
the rack. There you go. One rack later. That's how you get your Joel
Just
Kinnaman.
um, yeah, I can see that.
Mm.
Um,
I'm
just
babbling
going
like
into
hell,
subjects.
Paul. So you put this back on
Yeah,
the tracks and then park it in the garage if you would.
we could just which could two more things. Monster Hunter Milia Jovovich is which that's coming out. That's a game or a movie based on a game, based on an MMO, which is really strange. The only other film that we've ever gotten something like that is the Warcraft films, or the Warcraft film, but at least the Warcraft game series had a little story, the plot to it. And Hilary Swank is on Mars, which is a Netflix series. I believe it's called Away.
Oh,
Um, that's a little last bit
nice.
of kind of like news. But yeah, that's kind of getting back into work and stuff. We're going to get back onto to talking about more of the topics that are coming back up. As the industry kind of like doesn't just use its back archive of films that it's kind of banked,
Yeah.
which goes and starts to reproduce and develop new projects and plans. Yeah,
And can I try one thing as we close out? I think we should, and I'm doing this to Paul live. We're probably doing a live stream next week. I would assume it'll possibly be
mm-hmm.
a live stream. You can give me a nod or a shake your head if you had other plans, Paul. We'll see. But on our next live stream, whether that's next week or some weeks in the future, we will do any topic that anybody in the comments down below. If the first person in with a topic that we can actually do that is safe and sanitary for public display, because I don't want anybody giving us anything creepy or weird. Um, we will do a live stream based on your choices. We might even send out a tweet suggestions for shows because it would be nice to get some interaction from you guys as far as what you'd like us to talk about. We'll try and be prepared. We'll probably fail, but we'll do it anyway, and we'll hopefully make it a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think that's a great closer. I think
Hey,
that's a really good idea. I am going to make up a fake account and talk about Jude Law. No,
do you
anyways.
know? I fear that that could be the most requested thing, and you'll have to do a whole show in Jude Law where you just,
uh,
me sitting
I,
here
I,
going, yeah.
I don't mind the man, but I don't think I could do an hour long live show just on the guy. Like,
Well then,
yeah.
folks, pick something other than poor old Jude Law if you can. But everybody on the internet seems to like a joke, so I think we've now Bodie McBoat faced ourselves.
Oh,
Um,
that is a perfect like analogy.
mm,
With that, we're gonna have to close out, because yeah. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, which could share us out to all your friends. Because yeah, comment down below if what you think about the film industry getting back to work, and also tweet us any kind of comments or any ideas on shows that you want to or topics that you want us to kind of cover next week. And with that, I've been Paul.
and I've been Patrick.
And we've been here a out. So thanks very much and goodbye.